St. Genevieve, Missouri was already decades old when St. Louis was founded in 1764. And when most of us think of St. Genevieve, of course, we think of its French heritage. But during the Great Depression, a colony of artists lived and worked here in St. Genevieve, blending art and politics in its own unique way. Recently, a pair of St. Louisans wrote a book about this American art colony.
St. Genevieve was the perfect place for an art colony in the 30s, isolated enough to let the artists and their students concentrate on their work, but close enough to St. Louis to keep them in touch with the outside world. A group of artists, many from St. Louis, set up a studio in this house on Merchant Street, and between 1930 and 1940 created a body of work very different from artists in the established art centers such as New York, capturing on canvas the ways in which the Great Depression touched the lives of Americans.
The kinds of personalities that were down there were absolutely phenomenal. They were exciting, they were electric, they were volatile. They created for a brief 10-year period of time a bohemia here in Missouri at the highest level.
They were radical at best. They were ascribing to the theories of Marxism, of socialism, and they meant it. Now, granted, they were young and they were learning their way, and as time went on, many of them abandoned those ideas. But at that particular time, you absolutely had artists that were painting for a purpose, and that was in order to record history the way that it truly was at that time. 1930s were a very volatile time.
Unlike many art colonies, St. Genevieve's goal was not to develop a new theory or style of art. These were artists trained in all of the major American and European schools and techniques, and they expressed themselves through a wide variety of styles. Whether painting rural life, cityscapes, industrial scenes, or portraits, they tried to capture a specific time and place in history. Their art could be sentimental, disturbing, and sometimes beautiful. But the goal was never just to paint pretty pictures.
And they didn't paint pretty pictures. The work sometimes is very difficult to look at, and you have to view it in the context of what was going on in the United States and in particularly rural America. And because they all had such talent, they tended to learn from one another. And so they tried lots of different mediums and styles, ranging from abstract to impressionist.
At the heart of the colony was Amy Schweg, a powerful talent and personality. She managed to capture her own sensual and colorful spirit in this self-portrait. Her work depicts moments shared by average Americans in small towns and big cities like St. Louis, caught in the grip of the Depression. Her portraits of others reveal the feelings of people caught in circumstances beyond their control. And then there was Joe Jones, the colony's bad boy. Jones said he didn't want to paint pictures to hang on walls. He wanted to paint pictures that knocked holes in walls. A former house painter, hobo, and reform school graduate, he was a handsome, two-fisted drinker and ladies' man. In his spare time, he led a strike against the St. Genevieve lime mine.
You talk about Amy Schweg being the central figure that held it together. Jones really was the anarchist of the group. His art portrays that. He truly did paint the common man, the working man. It's what he wanted to do, and it's what he did well. He did it with feeling, and I think when you look at his paintings, you certainly will see that. He also painted social injustice. He was very big into understanding the plight of the underprivileged and the underclass, and I think he did that with dignity.
Joseph Borst came to St. Genevieve from Germany, where he had grown up seeing political extremism from both the left and the right. His paintings view Missouri in the 1930s through a German perspective of folk, nature, and spirituality. Other colony artists produced work ranging from the pastoral to the urban and experimental. It was a kind of utopia, and the language they spoke was art.
Places like art colonies are like social models, very progressive social models because they really only care about one thing, and that's talent. They don't really care about the color of your skin or your gender. But if you've got talent, if you could render, if you can paint, it illustrates a group of people coming together in a collaborative way and creating high art. And it's very instructive, I think, for all of us.
But like all utopian communities, it came to an end. As war broke out in Europe and America geared up to join it, the artists of St. Genevieve went their separate ways.
I think it was designed to only last 10 years. This particular colony was more political, and it was designed to capture a moment. And that moment was a 10-year period from the 1930s to the 1940s. And I think it did it very well. I think once that moment was captured and the country moved to a different direction, so did the artist.
It's taken decades for the St. Genevieve colony to receive national recognition. Created in the heartland and tagged with labels like regionalism, social realism, or WPA art, it's been largely ignored by the nation's East Coast art centers until now.
These particular paintings, they were steeped in sentimentality. They were also steeped in egalitarian thoughts, and that was not the direction New York was going. So we had a following, and the following was strictly a regional following. What's happened since then is that these paintings have had a bit of a resurgence, that America is now looking back to its past, and they are seeing that these painters of WPA truly were some of the finer painters, and truly the one great American art form as far as painting is concerned that was developed by us, and they're embracing it.
So hopefully the book, to a degree, is revisionist, because I think it's going to tell the art world that here was a collection of people that take a seat second to no one.
This sounds like it would make a great movie.
I think clearly it would make a good movie. I think you have every element that it takes to make a good movie. You have a historical point of time. You have a great setting. You have interesting figures. You have politics. And you have creativity. What more could you want?